Joining us live now, our political editor Andrew Clennell. Andrew, do you think the Prime Minister was blindsided this morning?
Yeah, I do. I mean, he said yesterday that Biden was coming. We got an embargo out last night. The front page of the Australian's a photo of the Marine One chopper. You know, the poor old Australian, it's out of date by the time it comes out, sort of thing, because the government had put out last night on embargo that Biden was addressing the Parliament on Tuesday. So as recently as 10 o'clock last night, they had a belief he was coming. And it seems from what Anthony Albanese said on radio this morning, he got the call at 4:30am to be ready for a call that said Joe Biden wasn't coming. And I really I know he said Narendra Modi's definitely coming anyway. He's got commitments here, but I wonder about going ahead with the Quad. He says he's talking to partners the next 24 hours, but if all four of them can have a meeting in the G7, it's kind of fortunate you've got that event just prior to the Quad. What's the point of the Quad? Really, if the US president can't come, that's my view on it. Rather than do it virtually, rather than have Kamala Harris.
Well, you don't have the theatre. You don't have the theatre, do you, of the president?
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's a bit of a blow for Anthony Albanese. He was looking forward to the first US presidential visit in 9 years to Australia, and an address to Parliament, and he even held a presser outside the Opera House that I attended saying, look at this, we're going to have the Quad at the Opera House. So it's just really unfortunate.
So you're better off just moving it rather than having some half-assed thing.
Well, if you can achieve this, it's a one-day meeting. Yeah. If you can achieve the same thing in Japan, why not do that? Yeah. You know, I mean, it might be difficult because of the schedule of bilats, and there are always so many of them there. Yeah. But I don't see the point if the president's not coming. So we'll see where they end up on it.
Yeah. I mean, if you move towards the end of the year, I mean, you're getting into an election cycle then. So Biden, you know, I doubt he would come when that begins. But anyway, is it a bonus? I'm not sure if this is new or not, but he's getting a state visit to Washington at the end of the year. Is that a kind of I say, hey, I can't come, but you can have this. That'd be the first one since ScoMo.
I think it is sort of new in terms of it being confirmed, but there's been talk about it for a while. Right. He's got to go to APEC in November, San Francisco. So could it happen around then, I wonder?
Yeah. This Resolve poll, it's interesting. The Voice, support for it. Yeah. It's the way it appears, a 5-point drop is looking more towards a collapse. That's the way that the Prime Minister does not want it to go.
Oh, I don't know. That's a view from a Queenslander, isn't it? But look, I mean...
well, that's where the negativity probably outweighs the other states.
It's not a great day for Anthony Albanese. He's got Joe Biden cancelling it. He's got this poll on The Voice saying the votes heading downwards.
Who are the Rabbitohs playing this weekend?
You're going to bet on the other team. They're playing the Eels. No, look... Oh, well, the honeymoon had to end eventually. Look, it's not great news. He's obviously got a bit of work to do. Look, there's a view, I think, from Albanese in the government that even if this thing fails, they can pin it a bit on Dutton's negativity. But I don't think it's a great outcome for the government or the PM in particular if it fails.
Yeah, it's just a bad
I still think it will succeed. But
you still think it will?
It really does depend on the Cell job. And I'll tell you what, if it gets up 52-48, that's hardly ideal, is it? They really want a result in the high 50s. It's interesting, that Queensland view, as opposed to the rest of the nation. They need 4 out of 6 states. It's one of the reasons Dutton didn't go for a free vote or really couldn't in his party room, because of the nature of the results at the federal election, where they won so many seats in Queensland and not elsewhere. So much of their party room's from Queensland, and there's more opposition in Queensland than elsewhere.
Maybe it's because I'm a Queenslander. I've always been of the view that it won't get there. But
that's right. If you're talking to Queenslanders all the time, they're saying it won't get there. That's why, you know, Queensland politicians thought Morrison was going to win it.
But even in New South Wales, when you get out of the city and you talk to folks, you know, similar response I get, but... You know, we'll wait and see. I might be wrong.
I had Amanda Rishworth on Sunday Agenda. I said, would the job seeker rise go before the Voice? And I got this really confused answer. I think this is one of the problems. They need to be really clear about what it's going to do. Albanese's strategy's been to leave that at the last moment. Is that the best strategy?
We'll see. Appreciate it, Andrew.